Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Well, in the last week, more than 200 Hoosiers have died from COVID-19. According to all of the various metrics the state follows, number of new cases, positivity rates, hospitalizations, Indiana's numbers continue to trend in the wrong direction. Still, as Brock Turner reports, that hasn't prompted a response from Indiana's governor.
With infections positivity rate and hospitalizations surging across the Hoosier state, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb is playing defense, arguing current regulations are working and the Hoosiers are doing the right thing.
We know a lot more about this. We know how to fight back. We know we can control what we can control. And that has to do with distancing, that has to do with masking up, that has to do with good hygiene.
During the summer, infections and hospitalizations revealed Indiana, like many other states, was moving in the right direction. But as temperatures fell, so did Holcomb's reliance on science and data. The number of average new cases has more than doubled since the state entered Stage 5 of its reopening plan about a month ago. Further, the positivity rate of first-time tests went from a low of 3.9% to well over 5%, which signifies greater community spread. Indiana is returning more positive tests than nearly all of its neighbors, but Holcomb says more restrictions aren't the answer.
The last thing that we need to do is go back, and the last thing I want to do or need to do is go back to a stay-at-home. By the way, when we didn't shut the state down. We said we've got to get our footing. When this thing first, the first wave came, we have got to get our PPE inventory up. We've got to have our hospital networks operating as one, so we're very efficient, and we have to make sure that we have the capacity to care. We have that now, and we're proving it can work.
Holcomb faced sharp criticism in Tuesday night's gubernatorial debate for his COVID response. Libertarian Donald Rainwater blamed him for ruining the economy. Democrat Dr. Woody Myers said he should reimpose some restrictions like capacity limits at restaurants and bars.
And Brock Turner joins us now. Brock, Holcomb took a lot of heat earlier this week during the debate and then again during the weekly coronavirus briefing. What can you tell us?
Yeah, that's right, Joe. Up until a couple of weeks ago, Holcomb was fully and firmly in the following the data camp. His policies were really on par with a lot of other moderate Republican governors. However, when the state reached Stage 5, which is essentially fully reopened, his rhetoric did start to shift. He said the initial reasoning for Stage 5 was data. At that time, the state's positivity rate was around 3.9%. Hospitalizations and new cases were mostly flat, so it made sense. But each of those metrics have surged in the time since, and new cases have nearly doubled. So instead of reimposing restrictions, Holcomb has begged Hoosiers to follow the state's mask mandate.
So it doesn't look like Holcomb is planning to reimpose restrictions.
No, I wouldn't expect any more statewide restrictions. The governor has really focused on individual rights and compliance. He even specifically mentioned it during this week's debate.
How about imposing fines for those not wearing masks?
Yeah, I don't expect that will happen either. When I asked the governor about it specifically, he said this.
Brock, we're not living in a police state, and our liberties do need to be protected. And I also mentioned that they shouldn't infringe or harm someone else. So, we can go through the mask, why masks are safe, till we're blue in the face, but we know that they are.
But in other states, there have been fines associated with wearing masks, so it could happen. Remember, Indiana initially had penalties attached to its mask mandate, but those were scrapped after police departments wouldn't enforce it. Attorney General Curtis Hill has also been outspoken against it.
So no mask mandate fines, but what about the order itself? Holcomb has taken heat from libertarians and conservative Republicans over it. Is that going anywhere?
I don't think so. Holcomb says he plans to keep the current mask mandate in effect. He says they work. He is following the science on that one. Yesterday, Dr. Deborah Birx from the White House Corona Task Force was in Indiana meeting with local health officials and healthcare administrators on how to best fight the next stage of the outbreak. Governor Holcomb, though, was not present at that meeting as he was in Fort Wayne attending a rally for U.S. President Mike Pence.
All right, Brock, thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.